Building a culture of unity and peace. This topic is not a new topic to anybody. You all know that what is peace and what is unity and what are we supposed to do, what we are doing, our country, what we are doing, and what is the purpose of organizing this conference of the Chief Justices of the world. Today, we are organizing this special conference just to bring about unity and peace in the world. You all know the reason very well. Now, we have got a 4 subtopic under this. One is peace education, cross-cultural understanding, unity and coexistence of religions and interfaith dialogue, role of civic societies, media and education, law codes and religion. These are all the 4 subtopics we are going to have today, and we have got the eminent judges here with us who are going to discuss on this topic, and they are going to tell us that what measures are being taken in different parts of the world to maintain peace and unity. Now, just to begin with the topic, I explained you a little bit about the peace education, which you all very well aware of peace and unity. Cross-cultural understanding, understanding the cultures of various people all over the world and respecting their culture also. It is not only understanding them, but respecting the culture of various people all around the world and living in peace and unity. That is the second part of the topic. Unity and coexistence of religion. Our country is a very good example for this. How people from various religions, they all live in our country together and we are living in peace and unity. How it is happening in India, you all know that very well. Though we have people from various walks of life, that is various religions, people following different religions. You all know what all the various religions we follow in our country. And in spite of that, we respect each other, the feelings of each other, and we live in unity and peace. That is the second part, third part of it. Now, role of civic societies, media and education. That also you know that very well what is happening. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all the students of City Montessori School. Please take your seat. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today. Then law, codes and religion. That also you know very well what all the that is the main purpose. We are organizing this this conference here, inviting the great dignitaries, the lawyers of chief justices and people belonging to various communities here to discuss how we can obtain peace and harmony in the world. Now, I take this opportunity to welcome the chairperson, Honorable Mr. Justice Chande Uthman, Chief Justice of Tanzania. Sir, you are welcome. On behalf of all the students, I welcome you, sir, for the special session. And we also have 3 speakers here. Honorable Mr. Justice Enrico Parato, Judge Tribune di Vibo Valentia, Italy. So he is here with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here with us for the session. Honorable Mr. Justice Muthika Papana, former Judge, Orissa High Court. I welcome you, sir, for the session. And Honorable Miss Justice T. Bharti, Civil Judge, Senior Division, Orissa. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us for the session. Now I request our chairperson to begin the talks here.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Prema, our facilitator. I want to thank all the students for being here and being alert. Our session this afternoon is creating a culture of unity and peace. And I think the subheadings are the key words that you have to bear in mind. So our topic is broad, but the school has done very well to look at the precise, a number of sub-themes which are important. One, peace education. And I think there is a charter of one of the UN organizations, UNESCO, which says clearly that since wars begin in the minds of man, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be construed. Okay? So you address the mind when we are dealing with peace education. So the themes, broad themes, we will discuss religious issues, coexistence of religion, role of civil society and the media, which was there this morning. We had very good presentation from our journalist this morning. And of course the courts and religion, the role of the courts. And we have judges here. They can take you to some of the very important key landmark decisions of the Supreme Court of India in relation to religion and religious issues. So my role is mainly to facilitate this discussion. Without losing time, I would like to invite each of the speaker, maybe just 10 minutes, key things they want to, key messages they want to relate to you. And then after the three speakers have each one spoken for about 10 minutes, then we open the debate, because what we want is a debate, a discussion. So there is a flow of communication between the bench and you who are members of the jury. Okay? So we begin with Judge Enrico Paratore from Italy.
Non funziona? Ok. Distinguished colleagues, dear students, I'm very honored and happy to be here at this beautiful school to attend this international conference. I think that Maria Montessori, as you know, was Italian, like me, can take pride in your work. Well, it was requested that I speak in English, which is not my native language, and it's not easy for me, so please bear with me. I hope in your tolerance. I apologize in advance, it's my not perfect English, my Italian English. Well, the topics of this session is peace education and cross-cultural understanding. Well, as we know, that improvement of education is very important for peace. So I would like to start this my brief speech from the thinking of Maria Montessori. She was, as we know, a great figure in the peace education. She was Italian, but during the Second World War, Maria Montessori was forced into exile from Italy because of her anti-fascist views and lived and worked in India. Here in India, she met with Gandhi and Tagore, that she already met in London. It was here that she developed her work, Education for Peace, and developed many of ideas taught in her training courses today. Maria Montessori focused her work on the reject of the nationalism. She decided to establish a common consciousness of the interdependence and solidarity among the people. And as you may know, she was twice nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Montessori's own writings explicitly make a connection to education for peace. As we know, she developed a concrete pedagogy for peace that is currently still adopted all over the world. Preventing war is the work of politicians, she said. Establishing peace is the work of educationists. She argued that values such as global citizenship, personal responsibility, and respect for diversity must be both an implicit and explicit part of every child's education. These values in Montessori education are every bit as crucial and as the subject of math, language, or science. She wrote in her works titled Education and Peace that peace is a goal that can only be obtained through common accord, and the means to achieve this unity for peace are twofold. First, an immediate effort to resolve conflicts without recourse to violence. In other words, to prevent war. And second, a long-term effort to establish a lasting peace among men. So she also said that the questions of peace cannot be discussed properly for a merely negative point of view in the narrow sense of avoiding war. Inherent in the very meaning of the word peace is the positive notion of constructive social reform. Thus, peace-building activities such as peace march, community building forums such as inter-religious dialogues, or advocacy against poverty such as the fair trade or debt cancellation movements become an important feature of peace education. However, it is crucial that we foster students to contribute to building a more just and peaceful world. And Montessori tremendously supported this important field. Basically, in a few words, as you know from Montessori, she said that education is the weapon of peace. Well, dear students, how should we define peace? What do you mean when we talk about peace? Definitely, of course, as an absence of war, but not only that concept. Therefore, peace doesn't always have to be defined in a negative sense, such as the prevention of wars, but also in a positive sense, or I should say in a constructive sense. So I mean, peace is to work for personal and social welfare. I think that to resolve every kind of conflict, we have to start from our daily work. The biggest revolution of the humanity began and consisted of little steps. The revolution that all of us want, peace for humanity, needs to be built day by day from our own daily acts. The action in the social and humanitarian field is the basic to build a world of peace. A society well educated and economically developed is less prone to conflicts. Or we can work toward this goals. The first thing we need to do is to overcome the mistrust and intolerance and promote mutual understanding. But also, peace can be guaranteed only if freedom and democracy are as well guaranteed. Peace must go hand in hand with the construction of a democratic world. Gustavo Zagrebreschi, an Italian jurist, said that to build a democratic ethics are necessary, among other things, the spirit of dialogue against the temptation of oppression, the sense of equality and the hustle for the privilege, the curiosity and openness to diversity against the fossilization and banality and against the tendency to look at everything from a single part, the hour, of course. This trust irreparable decisions do not allow to return critically. The attitude of mutual trust which refuses does not to see conspiracies in everything and every opponent as scapegoat. So peace cannot be conceived only in the absence of war. We know that could be peace also in the presence of dictatorships. True peace cannot exist if the civil society isn't free, where is not democracy. The first act that led to peace is then to liberate the oppressed people that still are too big a part of the inhabitants of the planet, helping them to build for themselves what so far has been denied them. It's necessary to remove the worldwide barriers that block the desire of every woman, every man, to finally achieve the right to freedom and democracy. In my opinion, we need to globalize as much as possible. Globalize the respect of human rights, because human rights laws, because only in this case we have peace and ensure economics and social progress for the oppressed and repressed areas of the planet. Where the goods do not pass, sooner or later pass the Hermes, said Frédéric Bastiat, a French economist. Where markets are opened, the only wars that open are thus commercial. The people of United Europe, which is a free market, not surprisingly, are in peace since almost 70 years. After the Second World War, the European people had high hopes. Hope of freedom, hope of peace, hope of social justice. Hopes that largely have become reality thanks to United Europe, whose Treaty of was signed in Rome, in Italy, in 1950. In Europe, there is peace today, not only in France, Italy, Germany, Spain, UK, but also in among all 28 member states that had never been like this before. Disputes between states are sometimes strong, but never exceed the threshold of the division of the issues of the economy, the mercantile interest, legal disputes, penalties for failure to comply with common standards. Today, Europe is undoubtedly a great example of civil coexistence, peaceful, and democracy. As well, India. Also, your country is a very good example, said the teacher that introduced this conversation this afternoon. Well, Europe today is a place without borders. Goods, people, their ideas, everything and everyone is free to move from one country to another country. In Europe we have different languages, different traditions, different legal systems, but today we are united in peace. And in this context, we also have to think a new role, in my opinion, for the United Nations. Why not? You are liked yesterday. I saw very important questions. Yesterday you asked for a world parliament. Maybe it's quite difficult at this time, but should the UN perhaps become an association of democracies in the world on the model of the European Union? Does not allow countries that don't have in their legal system respect for freedom of expression or intolerant and discriminatory rules, and does not permit the death penalty too? I think maybe it's an utopia. Utopia, we say in Italian language, utopia, I think in English, but in certain historical moments like ours, utopia is not something unreal and impossible, but it's the only realistic program that can be pushed. Furthermore, we are building the peace also when we talk about peace, like today, when we come here in Lucknow from different parts of the world to talk about peace. We need to increase intercultural dialogue, promote personal knowledge among people from different parts of the world, from different countries and cultures, in order to promote tolerance and understanding between the people's religion and different economic systems. My God, I come from Italy, is Jesus. My alphabet is Latin. My democracy is Greece. But my car is Japanese, and the gasoline comes from Arabia, maybe, I don't know. My mobile is American, probably is built in here in India. My shirt probably is made in India. We are citizens of the world. How we can say to another people, we are neighbor, we are a stranger, we are foreigner? We are citizens of the world. Much more than thousands of packs of agreements between the nations. It could be based on the way to global disarming with even events like the present. We have to talk about peace more and more, day by day. We have to work hard for tolerance and brotherhood. You and I are speaking different languages. We can understand each other with our respective words. But the message, the ideas, the passion that all of us can express at the very latitude of this planet, with different words, are the same for all of us. Mahatma Gandhi said, every person you meet in the best of you in something, in that thing you have to learn. But the intolerance, the last things I want to say this evening, the intolerance is born where there is ignorance of reason of the other man. And this situation generates self-defense. But we live in a society where the information is all. It is fundamental. We live times in which news, cultural exchange, also favored by internet, are becoming more frequent and faster, and allow more and more contacts between different people of culture, religion, customs. However, on one hand, this should be good to defeat ignorance, prejudice, and the fear of difference. On the other hand, there is an emergence of a new intolerance caused paradoxically by a lack of information and a superficial knowledge about the cultural identity of the one who does not belong to our community. The difference, indeed, that there is often shown by the mass media is an image that does not correspond to reality. Most of the time, the media showed us a negative image of the people from abroad, such as a person that threatens our well-being. Of him, of foreigners, you don't really know what he thinks, what are the values that he expresses. Also, I think that at the inviolable rights of the individual, solemnly recognized by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it must now add one more. Besides the rights that could be called of first generation, such as civil and political rights, we also have to consider the economic ones as well, those social and cultural rights. But between the human rights and of the new generation, it must be added also the right to information under a double aspect: the right to inform and the right to be informed, which indeed is fundamental importance for the purpose of our discussion. Well, all of us never forget that humanity is only part of a big group of people, a big state divided by the borders and governments. I am very grateful to Dr. Gandhi, all the organization, for inviting me to speak today. They give me the chance to see this beautiful school and their beautiful students. They give us hope for the future of the humanity, to realize a really new one world. Thank you. I hope to see you soon soon in Italy. Visit Italy. Thank you, and Jai Jagat. One word.
Okay, thank you very much, Justice Paratore. I'm sure all the challenges have raised your anxiety, and you will be ready to pose a lot of questions and comments on his brilliant expose. I now invite Her Ladyship Justice Bharti to speak. She can choose, I think, better if she speak from the rostrum. So I invite her to speak to the audience. You have the floor.
Honorable Justices of the world, companion justices, delegates coming from outside India and those within India, distinguished guests, NGOs, members of the staff, teachers, principals, members of the media, and dear students, I sincerely express my deepest gratitude to Mrs. and Mr. Jagdish Gandhi for having invited me to the 16th International Conference of Chief Justices of the World. While participating in this conference, I would like to speak a few words on rights of women and gender equality. When a female child is born, it faces problems from cradle to the grave. So far as Indian society is concerned, every family, irrespective of caste and creed, religion, a girl is not given due importance by his parents like that of his counterpart, a boy or a male child. The reason is obvious. One day or other, the girl who becomes marriageable age will be given in marriage to somebody. In this connection, her parents shall have to spend a lot towards dowry. If the parents are rich, they can afford to pay for her dowry. If the parents are poor, they have to face difficulties in giving the daughters in marriage to somebody. That apart, if the parents have no male issues, they will face problems during their old age after the daughters go to the houses of their husbands. For these reasons, parents give importance to a son and to the daughter. Now, the question is, we have to fight for rights of women. Women in all the societies and in all the countries throughout the globe have been neglected. The government has passed laws to protect the women at every walk of life. In our country, we have laws, both civil and criminal, to safeguard the rights of women. In criminal law, we have section 4998A IPC. If a woman is treated cruelly by her spouse or his relatives, then they will be prosecuted. That apart, we have Domestic Violence Act 2005. It safeguards the interests and rights of women. Nowadays, throughout the country, we have family court to deal with cases of women. Women judges have also been appointed to deal with cases of women. So, irrespective of gender equality must be given to both men and women. So, the society has developed a lot throughout the country. NGOs are working for their rights. Nowadays, woman is not weak. She is also coming forward in every field to establish herself. With these words, I conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justice Bharti. The focus being on gender equality, and that is a key subject that we will throw to the floor for our deliberation later on. Let me now invite our third and final speaker, Justice Papana, former judge of the Orissa High Court. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Learned Chief Justice of Tanzania, companion justices, dignitaries, NGOs, members of the media, students of City Montessori School, Lucknow, teachers, principals, friends, I sincerely express my deepest gratitude to Mrs. and Mr. Jagdish Gandhi for having invited me to the 16th International Conference of Chief Justices, and for having given this opportunity to stand before you and speak a few words on the topic chosen by me. This is for the second time I got this opportunity to participate in the conference of Chief Justices of the world here. But last time I had not chosen any topic to talk before the students or the audience. But this time I have been given an opportunity to choose a topic among the topics given in the information sheet. My topic is unity and coexistence of religions, interfaith dialogue. So while participating in this conference, I would like to speak a few words on this topic. And prior to that, in our Indian scenario, we have to refer to certain religions. As you know, love is the sum and substance of all the religions and scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Holy Quran, Holy Bible, etc. All the religions are the facets of one and the same truth. All scriptures, all religions are holy. All places of worship are holy. All religions are seeking one and the same God, although He is called by different names. There will be no peace among the nations without peace among religions. There will be no peace among religions without dialogue among religions. So the need of the hour is interfaith dialogue. There is one divine consciousness from which all religions have originated. There are diverse religions, but they speak about different codes of conduct, but their message is one and the same. We call for integration of world community. We have to build bridges of understanding, bridges of respect among different religions. If the world community is established, then we can have peace. Integration of world community is the highest call for humanity's spiritual evolution. People of diverse race, religions, and nationalities must work together in love and harmony for peace and happiness. Unity is a state of being one. Unity is oneness among humanity. Unity depends upon peace. Peace depends upon unity. Unity ensures equal opportunities for everyone. We live in one house. The people of the entire world live in one house where all the continents situate and all the countries of the world are different rooms in this said house. So we form one family of God. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. That means we constitute or form one family of God. World unity can be brought about. It is possible. The world unity, for this world unity education is being imparted to the students of City Montessori School, Lucknow. The students of CMS call upon the youth from diverse nations to join hands with the spirit of unselfish dedication. We are all in one common bond. In this way, the entire world can be spiritualized. At the level of individual, at the level of family, at the level of society and nation, the teachings of one's own religion can be put into practice in thought, word and deed. All the religions aim at promoting righteous conduct by transforming the mental attitude of humanity, thereby bringing about harmony of body, mind and intellect. Morality is a foundation of all religions. Morality is equated with selfless love. No religion approves the use of violence. Every religion recommends the cultivation of tolerance, the cultivation of respect for other religions, thus paving the way for ahimsa, non-violence. In this backdrop, I now approach the topic chosen by me, that is unity and coexistence of religions, interfaith dialogue. If you want to have a life of peace, if you want to have a life of happiness and harmony in future, it will depend upon the kind of action which you take at present. If you respect your parents, today your children will respect you in future. The kind of seed which you plant today will depend upon the kind of tree which will grow. The need of the hour is unity of faith. Interfaith dialogue means interaction between people of different religious faiths. It is initiated at individual and institutional levels for promoting understanding between different religions or beliefs. Interfaith refers to interaction between different faith groups. Parliament of World Religions 1893 was the first attempt to create global dialogue between religions. The event was celebrated by another conference on its century in 1993. In 2005, in New Delhi and Mount Abu, a meeting was organized by Brahma Kumaris on the inner voice of peace and international interfaith dialogue. It brought about 43 religious leaders from 15 countries of the world. The introductory session of the meeting with His Excellency, the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, was convened in New Delhi. Then it was shifted to Mount Abu and concluded. In the grand surroundings of the presidential palace, His Excellency, the President of India, spoke of what religious leaders could do to create peace and end human misery. The critical first step, he said, was to move the ego out of the way, release I and me, and hatred will dissolve. You can then find peace. This was spoken by the then President of India, Abdul Kalam. Spirituality is the only key by virtue of which we can bring justice, we can bring peace, welfare and well-being to humanity. What we are lacking? What we are lacking is love. We have to develop love within. Love will drive out hatred. Love will drive out anger. Love will drive out violence, which are the causes of disturbance within and without. Actually, what is the poverty? Actually, the cause is the poverty. But it is the poverty of character. It is the poverty of character. We have to remove it. We have to encourage people of each faith, each religion, at local, at community, national and international levels to stand up for the rights of the people of all faiths, not just their own. Gautam Buddha teaches us to live and let live. He did not do any harm or damage to any other religion in any part of the world for the purpose of introducing Buddhism. Dalai Lama XIV made efforts very sincerely throughout his life to promote peace and religious tolerance. Christocentric is a traditional Christian doctrine. Followers of this doctrine engage deeply to establish dialogue. Much focus in Christian interfaith dialogue has been put on Christian-Jews reconciliation. Islam has encouraged interfaith dialogue amongst Jews, Christians, Muslims. Relation between Muslims and Hindus in India and Pakistan could theoretically be much better if interfaith efforts were more successful. Baha'u'llah, founder of Baha'is faith, enjoined his followers to consort with the followers of all religions in a spirit of friendliness, in a spirit of fellowship, to carry on interfaith activities with sincerity at local, community, national and global levels. United Nations Organization support interfaith dialogue, which is essential, which is relevant and necessary. Interfaith dialogue is pleaded for exchange of ideas, but not exchange of blows. We can turn to dialogue only when provocation, overreaction and violence can be resisted at all levels. In simple language, dialogue means coming together of two or more people to discuss certain issues. The aim is to formulate a bond between them. It facilitates interfaith dialogue between different faiths. It stimulates the development of an interfaith framework out of interfaith practices. Interfaith dialogue should not debate about winning an argument or changing one's own belief. This facilitates respect for differences in other faiths. We must see the whole world a common humanity and safe physical environment as visible support for the existence of a single creator. There is an urgent need for people of different religious faiths to meet with each other to solve the religious problems of common humanity at all levels. There are international dialogues on the way to, there are international challenges on the way to implementation of interfaith dialogue peacefully. Till today, at different parts of the globe, we are different plots of the globe, we see people suffering from want, hunger, disease, powerlessness, and lack of freedom. It is necessary for the dialogue to offer ways to enhance the economic justice for a more equitable sharing of world resources, participation of poor, participation of weak, oppressed, and depressed is more imperative in this process. Their suffering must be alleviated. In fact, there is necessity of removing the misconception about other religions. Interaction of different faiths leads to solution of global problems. In faith, if faith is enlisted in the causes of war, there must be an equal and opposite counter voice in the name of peace. If religion is not part of a solution, it will certainly be a part of the problem. The goal of international dialogue is to recast religion in the name of peace. In actual practice, we come across preachers of hate and preachers of dialogue. We prefer to dialogue. There should be intra-religious debate within religions. There is a tendency of religious people to reject for unification of all religions. They take different routes. They have their own rationale within their own faith doctrine. They emphasize the superiority of their traditions. Whatever might be the challenges, whatever might be the problems on the way of interfaith dialogue, we find possibilities of promise, of global unity and peaceful coexistence. We hope and trust that religion can bring people of the entire world together, foster value rather than creating inevitable division and fear. All men are cells in the one divine organism, in the divine body. That should be your faith. That should be your fortune, your fort, your fullness. Yes, it's. I'm coming to my. So we need peace. We have come here to see that peace is established. We must have peace. We are after peace, for which we have to cultivate love and tolerance. Above all, we have to take care of creation of God. With the following words, I conclude my talk on unity and coexistence of religions, interfaith dialogue. Gautam Buddha never says that he is a Buddhist. Jesus Christ never says he is a Christian. Muhammad never says he is a Muslim. They are great teachers of the humanity. They taught us love. Love is their religion, and religion is love. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much. I think that is a sign that you are ready to launch your questions and comments. So, the floor is open. You can direct your question or your comment generally or specifically to any one of our speakers. So we will take, let's say, 5 or 6 comments or questions, and then we give the floor to our panelists. Okay? Okay, let's begin.
Just raise your hand if you have. I just pass it.
Okay. We have here. Okay, slowly, just your name. Yeah, you can speak from there, doesn't worry. Your name and your question.
So, my name is Ojas Pandey. Ojas Pandey. Yes. So, my question is to Honorable Sir Justice Enrico. Sir, Italy has been a center for religious revolutions from the very beginnings. When Rome rose to power, the Greek civilizations declined, and due to the whole Jesus Christ thing, Christianity in a way did rise in Rome. So, sir, therefore, considering the current scenario where terrorist organizations are taking religion for granted and committing hideous crimes on religion, and like, for example, Jesus Christ was killed because some people told the Roman Empire that he was a danger to their existence. So, therefore, sir, what is your take on the current scenario?
Okay, what is your take on the present scenario of religious issues in Italy? Okay. Another comment, another question. Here, we had one here. Please pass. Next speaker, always pass to the next one. Okay? Your name, you are captain already, so... Okay, your name?
Sir Shrishti Mishra. So my question is from you. I have a very common question. That what changes have been brought about and what changes can be brought about as a result of your participation in these Chief Justices conferences, and why did you come to this conference?
Okay, that is a very provocative question, huh? Okay, next one. Next here in front. Oh, okay, go in the corner, you can face. Yeah, very good. Okay, your name and your question.
So my name is Rahul and my question is to you that, sir, the UN is everywhere. It deals with the monetary problems among others. Where is the UN when the militant groups like ISIS attack on the country's harmony and peace, kill innocent people and harm their social, cultural, religious and economic well-being? Sir, where does UN go when countries like USA and Russia take independent decisions? Is the UN even trying to do anything on the displacement of the refugees caused due to these militant groups? Sir, will we ever be able to live in peace, free from wars and attacks?
Okay, thank you very much. I think this can be for the panelists, including Judge Enrico, about the UN. Definitely the refugee crisis is a big issue that you have read, which is affecting Europe in a very big way and other countries as well. So I think that is something we can talk about. Okay, let's continue. Yes, we can go in the middle. Oh, sorry. Your name and...
Sir, my name is Utkarsh Tandon, and I have a question from Honorable all the judges, that how can all the Chief Justices of the world help in developing the international institutions further into an effective governance mechanism destined to fulfill primary objective of advancing human civilization?
Okay, this is for all the panelists about advancing human civilization. How institutions, international institutions, states help to advance human civilization. Okay, let's continue. The fifth speaker. Your name?
Sir, my name is Vabhavi Palya. My question is, sir, some countries like India have death sentence for some crimes. Do you agree with the use of death sentence? And if so, how would you feel if you would be the sitting judge in such a case?
Okay, that's an excellent question. We have our sitting judges here. Okay, we have 6 questions. Okay, we can take 6 and then have first round. We have a second round, so just prepare your section and we begin from here. Okay, the 6th question.
Sir, my question is to Ms. T. Bharti.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is your opinion on the reservation system that is followed in India? Is it any beneficial to the society?
Okay, I think that is a good question. Okay, so let us begin. Do we begin last? Yes, let's give the floor to Justice Bharti. The first question. There is a microphone here. Maybe it's more convenient. Here, just on your left. On your left. Sorry. Oh, sorry. You can use this one. Use a microphone. Yeah, for you. Your question was about the reservation. The last question, please, can you expand it a little bit? Can you expand it a little bit so our two judges can respond? Yeah, just expand it. Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am, actually there is reservation in India for particular castes and religion based also on gender equality. There are seats reserved for ladies particularly. So what do you think? What's your opinion on it? Is it necessary? Is it beneficial?
Reservation for women.
Reservation related to women or castes or religion. Anything.
All castes you want.
Yeah, the question is, I think in the parliamentary system, in the Indian legislature, in the assemblies, you have some special seats reserved either for women or for minority and so on. Is it beneficial? Is it working? What has been its effect in the democracy of India? Okay.
In my opinion,
Yes, the microphone, please. Yes.
in my opinion, reservation is necessary for. In my opinion, reservation is necessary for women and also for some caste of the society, but not all.
Okay, I think yes. Let me expand a little bit on this issue. In many countries, because women and other minorities have been disadvantaged, so the legislature, have accepted that they must give a jump start to the participation of women and the participation of other groups that were excluded by society to participate in the political life, in the economic life of the nation. One of the countries in the world that has the highest number of women legislators is Rwanda. The president of Rwanda was here in 2002 at the third conference of the chief justices here. So his country has, I think, about 57 or 58% more women legislators than men. In my own country, Tanzania, the constitution says the women must be 30% of members of parliament. But there is a move now to increase this to 40%. But the international consensus is 50-50. This is where we have to strive somewhere. And including women organizations, they're saying, we don't want just to speed track us. No, we want because we merit. So it is not because we have a low intellect or anything like that, because it is our right to be equally represented because we constitute almost half or more of the population of the world. So there is merit in this because we want to go in as a merit, not as a favor. Okay, and I think they have reason for that. Okay, let's give now the floor to Justice Paratore from Italy.
Well, thank you for the questions. I don't remember the name of the students, the first students, but you asked me about the situation of religions in Italy, about the interfaith dialogues, no? Or in if there is problem between the different faith in Italy when we...
Sir, I meant that there have been many instances where religion has been used for killing of prejudice and other such discriminations. And Rome has been a great part of it in the ancient world. Currently, like for example, during the start of Christianity, Christians were killed by the Roman Empire just because of being Christians. And right now, if you see terrorist organizations like ISIS, they are killing on the name of religion as it was. So, I would like to know your take on the present scenario of using religion as an excuse for killing and for terrorism.
Yes. Okay. Now I understand. I better understand. Of course, religions. This is a political matter. I think it's not have attendance with the religious problems or religious faith. Someone before of me remember that all the faith wants the respect of the other religion, other faiths. So this is. This happened when political matters between mixed with use la religione per fini diversi. They use the religions for other for different politics. That's the reason. That's the way it happens around the world. I think right now. So we have to distinguish the different planes, of course. It's normal. It is the work that we have to do every day in every country. I think that you're here in India doing a well job in this direction, no? And also in Europe, but in some places of the world it is not happening. But it's it is our work. It's the work of the countries like India, like Italy, Europe, to do something for resolve this situation around the world. Also, someone of you asked about the refugees. If I don't remember, yes, there's also a big issue in the world, especially in Italy, where I come from. And you know, Italy is very open to the people from abroad. I don't know if the media give you the information about is happening in the Mediterranean Sea right now, from people coming from Africa, from Syria, for a lot of wars that are in the areas. But we have to give hospitality to all these people, of course, and that the Italy and the Europe is doing. Independence of the faith or religious or color of our skin, and they have the chance in Italy. Also, I think in India it's the same as well, to integrate with the other population and give them all they need to profess their faith and religion and ideas, of course respecting the law. And also someone of you may be asking about women situation, but only in India, if I don't bad remember. No? Yes, also. Yes. Huh? Yes. So he also. She's already answered the colleague, but answer. Also in Italy, we have a legislation like this. If you have interest to know this, and we guarantee the women equally represent in our institution. And someone else about that penalty asked me if I don't better remember. Yes, some girls maybe about in Italy we don't have that penalty. We also in Europe we don't permit this kind of that penalty. Yes, she asked about. We don't permit. If the states won't join the European community, it doesn't allow the death penalty in their law. It's not possible to guarantee, in our point of view, civil rights and freedom and peace if you don't respect first of all the life. Is the state don't respect first of all the right, because in our opinion also the death penalty is a nonsense, because it's not a real penalty. If you want that a person pay for the crime that he committed, if you kill him, he can't thinking about the action that he made. No, maybe it's better that you can explain that you have the chance to mind about his bad action in jail, in prison, for a short time or a big time. It depends from the crime.
Thank you very much. We give the floor Judge Papana also to speak the question also on the death penalty. If you are a judge and you are in India and there is a case involving death penalty, yes, what would be your attitude as a judge in India sitting in a case involving death penalty? What would be your approach? Who asked this question about the death penalty? She's over here.
Death penalty?
Yes.
Will you put that question again?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So, my question is that some countries like India have death sentence for some crimes. Do you agree with the use of death sentence, and if so, how would you feel if you would be the sitting judge in such a case?
Which case?
In a murder case involving death penalty, how would you feel as a judge in India?
In a case of murder, the convict is visited with life imprisonment or death sentence. Death sentence is the highest penalty imposed on the offender or the culprit who commits murder. First of all, let me explain in what cases death sentence is imposed and in what cases life sentence is imposed. death sentence is imposed in those cases where the offender or the culprit commits rarest of the rare crime. It must be proved according to law that the accused has committed rarest of the rare crime. It is a murder. People who murder the deceased is sentenced to life imprisonment. But extreme penalty of death is imposed if the judge holds or comes to the conclusion that it is a rarest of the rare crime. What are the rarest of the rare crime? If the deceased is, say, defenseless, he has nothing to say resist. If the accused has a motive, inner motive to kill the deceased, and with that intention he has planned, designed to take away the life of the deceased. If the deceased happens to be a child, so in these cases, if the judge or the court of law holds that the case is or the crime is a rarest of the rare crime, or the case is rarest of the rare case, then death sentence is imposed. And I am of the opinion that the death sentence should be imposed in these cases, not in all cases. Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you? Or anything more should I speak?
Okay, thank you very much. There were 2 or 3 other very short. Okay, but just remember one thing, that more and more countries in the world are abolishing the death penalty each year. Every year, 2 countries in the world abolish the death penalty. There is more than 30 countries in the world that have the death penalty in their statute books, but they don't implement it. We call them countries that have a moratorium on the death penalty. In my own country, for 20 years, it's in the books, it's in the law, but no execution. So the momentum is going, and the people estimate that if 2 to 3 countries every year abolish, that means in 40 years, 50 years, it will be abolished. But it is a dialogue. Okay? It's a dialogue. 2 questions very briefly, and then we take maybe 2 or 3 other questions, the final round of questions, because we have to leave, I think, according to our schedule, at 5:30. 5:30. Okay, there was a question about what do you do when some states take unilateral action. Okay, that was your question. And this is a very important issue, okay, of taking a unilateral action by one state and not what we call collective action. Okay, there is certain instances within the UN Charter which allows a state to take unilateral action in self-defense. Is one instance. Okay, and most of the time it is by collective action. Okay, through the Security Council and so on and so forth. But these are things which are of a political nature, and they are regulated by the UN and the political bodies. But that is why there is now reform of the UN system. Okay, yesterday all our speakers today morning talked a lot about reform of this body, Security Council, General Assembly, and so on and so forth, because of using your power to deal with some situation. Okay, then there was one question I deal briefly about the value of the Chief Justice's conference. I think was your question. The value, there's a number of values. First of all, the Chief Justices, you have in each government 3 pillars of government. You have the executive, headed by the president. You have the parliament, headed by the speaker. And you have the judiciary, headed by the Chief Justice. Okay, these are 3. In any country which is regulated by rule of law, you have these 3 heads of different institutions which are independent. So the judiciary, the Chief Justices here are adding their voice to some of these issues that states led by their leaders, which are political leaders, must be conscious of. So one is to increase the voice, okay, of the different challenges that the world international community is facing. But also another thing also is to be advocates. Okay, to be advocates, and we talk about judicial activism. Okay, was mentioned here the great work of the Supreme Court of India in judicial activism. Okay, promoting peace and so on and so forth. And there's many decisions, landmark decisions of many Supreme Courts in the world related to many issues that are here. So the Chief Justice also are playing a role as advocates of the different issues, because then they take a position or they are informed of the debate and what is going on. So this is one of the main values. And also thirdly is the interaction. You have here in this conference many heads of states who have participated. This time there is head of state of South Africa, of Sri Lanka, and so on. And they made very brilliant speeches about some of these issues. So it's also an involvement of head of state plus the judiciary at the highest level. Okay, so this is just in a brief form. Okay, thank you very much. Let us take 3 questions and then we have the floor because of the time. Okay, so you select. I give you the privilege to the teacher to select. Okay, don't repeat the same, okay? Because you are privileged to have very distinguished judges in front of you. Please take the microphone and come in front. Okay, yes, okay. Okay. Okay, last question. You have the privilege on behalf of the class, so it better be good.
My name is Aman. My question to you all is, most militias are either under the command of terrorist organizations or military heads. Shouldn't the countries of the world come together and act against them? Most militias are either under the command of terrorist organizations or military heads. Shouldn't the countries of the world come together and act against them?
Okay, the question is, most of the militia are under the command of the military. Okay, militia. Militia is a militia, no?
What's that?
Militia, no? Militia. No, unorganized armed groups. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Most of the non-organized armed groups, or nowadays a better language is called non-state actors, okay, are under the command of the armed forces. So should not the armed states take action against them? Okay, militia. Okay.
It is a big question. So, as he said before me, there are different level in a state, we guarantee in a democratic state, to different levels: the judiciary, the legislative, and the government. And this is a matter not for judge. This is a matter of international law, of course, international agreement between it passing from a United Nations. Why it's not happening? Because maybe there are a lot of political aspects that may have to that had to resolve before. It is it's not easy. For our point of view, we have only to increase the idea of the respect of the life and to increase the brotherhood between the people of the world, the nation.
Yeah, just to add, there is two things here. When you talk of militia, there is certain armed forces that have paramilitary groups, okay, but there are also militia who are fighting against the government. But the international humanitarian law regime have held all these militia and other groups accountable, okay, accountable, and that is why you have now international courts. Some of the accused who are before the International Court of Justice, International Criminal Court in The Hague, they are militia commanders. Okay, so the militia commander themselves, they are accountable in international humanitarian law for war crimes and for other atrocities which they commit. Okay, so sometimes, of course, the state try to regulate nationally, but sometimes the militia group is fighting against the government. Sometimes the government is using militia as a front, but the government is ultimately responsible, okay, under international law for peace and security and so on within its borders, its boundaries. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for your good question, for your attentiveness, and I want to give a big round of applause to our panelists for the contribution. Maybe last word to our teacher for the concluding remarks.
Thank you, sir. Children, it was a wonderful session. We could learn a lot of things, and all the judges, they answered your questions in a very nice manner. I would like to especially thank our chairperson, Honorable Justice Chandra Othman, Chief Justice of Tanzania, sir. Thank you very much for being the chairperson of today's session, and also the other judges, Paratore, Mr. Justice Paratore, and Justice Muthika Papanna, and Justice T. Bharati ma'am, for being here with us today for this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, and I would like to thank all of you on behalf of all the students of City Montessori School. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Thank you, everybody. Yes, sir. Huh? All the judges.